All glories to the assembled Vaishnavi devotees. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Yes, yeah, we can hear you. Then Maharaj, if you may unmute, so we may hear you.
Now okay. Is it unmute my microphone?
Yes, your audio is okay, but we cannot see your video.
Yes, just I'm coming actually.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Maharaj.
I just went to one program, so sorry for late.
No, it's okay. Thank you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Jive Krishna Nam Sarva Dharmasha Shradhavan Jana Hai Shradhavan Jana Hai Shradhavan Jana Hai Shradhavan Jana Hai Nadia Gojum Nityananda Mahajan Nadia Gojum Nityananda Mahajan Katya Chinam Hate Jibera Karan Katya Chinam Hate Jibera Karan Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances and glories to you, or glories to you, Vaishnav devotees. Thank you, devotees. Let me do this. Hare Krishna, devotees, we thank you for being here as always. Today, we are very much blessed. We have His Holiness Bhaktijivan Vrajananda Swami Maharaj, who will be speaking to us from the Nectarian Srimad Bhagavatam. I believe this is the first time Maharaj is speaking on this platform. And so we sincerely urge the devotees to be quite attentive, and we're going to have our ears and hearts nourished. And Maharaj, what we do is the manner of speaking Bhagavatam here is just like a temple room setting.
Okay.
So you'll be reciting the slokas, but the devotees may not respond after you because it creates distortion. And then you read the translation prepared and you comment. And when there is time, devotees may ask questions or share realizations. We usually speak for about an hour or so, and then devotees may ask questions.
Okay.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Maharaj. And so
thank you.
We may put the verse on the screen. You may read it from your end, but we also want devotees to follow, so we'll put the verse on the screen anyway.
And so you want to read it in your language, or English is okay?
Yes, you can read in English. Yes.
Okay.
We only speak English, nothing else.
Yeah. You don't speak Swahili there?
No Swahili, nothing. Only English.
Okay. Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So you like to put in screen in the verse?
Yes, Maharaj, I'm going to do that.
Okay.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
Okay. So we'll start now.
Yes, Maharaj.
Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So this evening here we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, chapter 9, text number 45. Naradaha praha munaye saraswatyastate nrupaha jayate brahman paramam vyasasmi tatejase. Narada praya munaye saraswatyastate nrupaha jayate brahmana paramam vyasayami tatejase. So we go for word meaning. Naradaha, the great sage Narada, Praha, instructed, Munaye, unto the sages, Saraswatyaha, of the river Saraswati, Tate, on the bank, Nrupa, O king, Jayate, unto the meditative, Brahma, absolute truth, Paramam, the supreme, Vyasaya, unto Srila Vyasadev, Amita, unlimited, Tejas, unto the powerful. Translation and purport by Divine Grace is Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. So in succession, O king, the great sage Narada instructed Srimad Bhagavatam unto the unlimitedly powerful Vyasadev, so who meditated in devotional service upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Absolute Truth, on the bank of river Saraswati. Purport: in the fifth chapter of first canto Srimad Bhagavatam, Narada instructed the great sage Vyasadeva as follows: Atha Mahabhaga Bhagavan Amoghatrit Suchi Sravaha Satya Ratadrut Brataha Urukramya Khila Bandhamuktaya Samadhina Surasmaram Tat Vichestistam. O greatly fortune pious philosopher, your name and fame are universal, and you are fixed in absolute truth with this spotless character and infallible vision. I ask you to meditate upon the activities of personality of Godhead, whose activities are unparalleled. So, in the disciplic succession of Brahma Sampradaya, the practice of yoga sorry, practice of yoga not neglected. I think one subject. The practice of yoga meditation is not neglected, but because the devotees are bhakti yogis, they do not undertake the trouble to meditate upon the impersonal Brahma. As indicated here, they meditated on Brahman, Brahma Paramam, or the Supreme Brahman. Brahman realization begins from the impersonal effulgence, but by further progress of such meditation, manifestation of the Supreme Soul, Paramatma realization take place. And progressing further, the realization of Supreme Personality of Godhead is fixed. See, Narad Muni, as the spiritual master of Vyasadeva, knew very well the position of Vyasadeva, and thus he certified the qualities of Srila Vyasadeva as fixed in absolute truth with great hope. Narada advised meditation upon the transcendental activities of Lord. Impersonal Brahman has no activities, but the personality of God has many activities, and all such activities are transcendental, without any tinge of material quality. If the activities of the Supreme Brahman were material activities, then Narada would not be advised Vyasdeva to meditate upon them. And the Param Brahma is the Lord Sri Krishna, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. In the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, when Arjuna realized the factual position of Lord Krishna, he addressed Lord Krishna in the following words: Param Brahma Param Dhama Pavitram Paramam Bhavam Purusham Shashvatam Divyam Adi Devam Ajam Vibhum Ahustam Rishe Sarve Devarshi Naradastatha Asito Devala Vyasa Swayam Saiva Braveshime. Arjuna summarized the purpose of Bhagavad Gita by his realization of Lord Sri Krishna and thus said, My dear personality of Godhead, you are the supreme absolute truth, the original person in the eternal form of bliss and knowledge. And this is confirmed by Narada, Asita, Devala, and Vyasdev. And above all, your personal self has also confirmed Bhagavad Gita 10, chapter 10, 12, and 13 verse. When Vyasdeva fixed his mind in meditation, he did it in Bhakti Yoga trance and actually saw the Supreme Person with Maya, the illusory energy, in contraposition. As we have discussed before, the Lord's Maya or illusion is also a representation because Maya has no existence without Lord. Darkness is not independent of light. Without light, no one can experience the contraposition of darkness. However, this Maya or illusion cannot overcome the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but stands apart from Him. Apasrayam. Therefore, perfection of meditation is realization of personality of Godhead, along with his transcendental activities. Meditation on the impersonal Brahman is a troublesome business for the meditator, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Klesh adhikatarus tesam abhaktasya chetasam. Thus ends Srila Prabhupada's work. Om Gyantimirandhasya Jnananjana Chakyo Unmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupam Kada Mahyam Dadati Sopadantikam. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vanchakalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavabhyo Namo Namo. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Di Advaita Gadadhara Shivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Dear devotees, thank you very much for giving your wonderful association this evening. Because it is said in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srimad Bhagavatam can be released or studied only by the association of devotees. So I am very much thankful to all of you by your you are giving me opportunity to understanding Srimad Bhagavatam by all of your association. Thank you again. So in this chapter particularly, as you have been going through, I think serially you are discussing this chapter. Srila Shukadeva Goswami is narrating about the cosmic manifestation and answering by the citing Lord's verses. So this is very important actually to understand when Shukadeva Goswami is saying he is not speculating from his own mental speculation. So he is giving example from what Supreme Lord has been instructed, and also what Supreme Lord Vyasadeva completely, who is an incarnation of Supreme Lord himself. So what he has been instructed to Shukadeva Goswami, that he is going to narrate in this chapter particularly. So that's why it is very important for us, those who are practicing devotional service, particularly in our disciplic successions Prabhupada established. So we have to always be very much focusful towards the authentic what we are listening and what we are hearing or what we are studying, reading. So that should be recommended by proper disciplic succession. Otherwise, there are so many scriptures available in this in the world. We are not going through all the scriptures. So we have been focusing only which has been completely bona fide and described by distributions, particularly Srila Prabhupada. So, so that's here another important thing as we see. When Shukadeva Goswami was narrating Srimad Bhagavatam and Parikshita Maharaj was sitting in the bank of Ganges. So Shukadeva Goswami is elaborating Srimad Bhagavatam, and he wants to speak about the different activities, pastime of the Supreme Lord. Because he told Parikshit Maharaj at the time of a death of a person, if he listens about the glories and pastimes of the Supreme Lord, or he remembers those things, so then that his life will be success. So one thing here we see in this particular in the second canto, Shukadeva Goswami is establishing a foundation of Srimad Bhagavatam. He is not jumping towards describing Lord's beautiful pastime, which has been described in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Because to understanding the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, so Shukadeva Goswami is establishing a platform. So how we can understand properly the Supreme Personality of Lord, so who is playing the Ras dance, or which is so beautiful and he is doing in the childhood pastime, he lifting Govardhan, he is killing Putana. So whatever pastime we are seeing, that how, because many people they criticize by saying that, oh, this is a mythology, it has been written by someone else. But they don't know that he is the Supreme Lord and he can do whatever pastime he likes. It does not mean that we have to go to some gym to become powerful, to lifting some 300 kilograms, like in Olympic game. Krishna does not need to do that thing. But he is Swam Bhagavan, he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So in the lap of his mother Yashoda also, he is Supreme Lord himself. So to understanding that, so that's Shukadeva Goswami is narrating different topics actually, in particular in the second chapter. Because second canto in Srimad Bhagavatam is called that Supreme Lord's Lotus Feet. Because when you are putting your feet in the ground, very fixed, our foundation is proper. then you can build many story building. When the foundation is weak, then it is very difficult to build a higher buildings. So that's why in Srimad Bhagavatam, as we see here, Sukadeva Goswami is establishing a foundation. How we can take and properly understand the glorious pastime of the Supreme Lord in the 10th canto. So that's why systematically he is describing, particularly in the second canto, third canto, fourth canto, like this. We go to 9th canto. And after finishing 9th canto, then 10th canto, he is describing the beautiful pastime of Supreme Lord. And this chapter, so Sukadeva Goswami is saying that whatever he is speaking, he is not speaking from his own. He is giving answer to what the Supreme Lord himself advised to his disciple Brahma. And Brahma passes through the disciplication to his son Narada Muni. And Narada Muni, same thing he passes to Vasudev. And here one thing we should understand, we know Srila Vasudev is an incarnation of the Supreme Lord. He does not need, or he does not to be confused, like Srila Prabhupada has mentioned in the first canto, 5th chapter. It is mentioned that when Srila Vasudev was confused, he was not feeling satisfaction in his mind, and he was sitting in the bank of Saraswati, and he could not understand what gives him in satisfaction. He has narrated so many Puranas and divided Veda into 4, and Upanishad and Purana, and also he describes Mahabharata elaborately. But what was the cause of his dissatisfaction? He could not understand this thing. So he is Supreme Lord himself, no? Then because Vasudeva is not an ordinary person. Because there we see the Vasudeva is establishing a principle here. Without the spiritual master, we cannot understand the philosophical meanings of. So that's why when Vasudeva was meditating on this like this, his spiritual master Narada Muni appeared there. So when Narada Muni, what he did, he immediately understood what was the cause of a dissatisfaction of Vasudeva. Because Vasudeva was a very learned scholar. That Narada Muni, he knows this thing. But out of his duty as a spiritual master, so he has to rectify his disciple, and he has to bring him proper platform to understand. And Narada Muni, because he was a direct disciple of Brahmaji, because he heard from Brahmaji, and which Brahmaji heard from Supreme Lord himself. No? So that's coming from disciplic zone also. Narada Muni wants to establish the disciplic succession there also. Because through the parampara system, we can understand the knowledge. But in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, idam paramparam praptamim rajasya viduhu. So this is spiritual topic. It should come through the disciplic succession in the parampara system. Otherwise, if the speculative knowledge of somebody gives his own commentary, so it is very difficult to understand. We cannot understand properly. That's why here when we read Srimad Bhagavatam from Srila Prabhupada's commentary, it becomes so easy. We can see the proof. Before Srila Prabhupada has given the commentary of Srimad Bhagavatam, there are so many commentaries of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Why many people could not understand this essence of Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita? Because they were not properly translated in a disciplic succession. So by their so-called scholarly representation or this thing, so they were narrating Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita. That's why they were confused. And also same time they were not practicing properly devotional service. And these subject topics are completely based on the devotional service. So that's why so many commentators, though they have been given Srimad Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. So that was not properly understood by the people in general. But same thing when Srila Prabhupada commented on Srimad Bhagavad Gita, it becomes so easy to for everyone. Now we see in the whole world, people can understand. It is so, and so many great scholars, they have been given many uh, their appreciation about Srila Prabhupada's commentary and Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. So from this, we understood that how when we are getting the knowledge from the parampara, and when we are getting the knowledge from those who are not coming in the parampara in a disciplinary system. So that's why as we are member of ISKCON, we should understand ourselves. We are so grateful actually to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada has given us so many wonderful things to understand the essence of all Vedic literature. Srila Prabhupada has access to us. So here, one thing we see, Srila Prabhupada mentioned in the purport, because Narad Muni instructed Srimad Bhagavatam to Vyasadeva in only few verses. As we understood from the first canto, when Narad Muni was discussing with Vyasadeva, only few verses Narad Muni elaborated completely Sanam Srimad Bhagavatam. And same thing which he heard from Brahmaji. And Brahmaji, he got the verses, only 4 verses from Supreme Lord. Right? You have already gone through that 4 verses of which Supreme Lord gave him only 4 verses to Brahma. And Brahma expanded it to more to Narada Muni. And Narada Muni expanded it more to Vyasadeva. And Vyasadeva elaborately discussed with the 18,000 verses. No? So this is the proper. So sometimes some people they question that, oh, Vyasadeva may write something extra by his own will. No, because if he only 4 verses which has been told to Brahma by Supreme Lord, we could not understand anything from that 4 verses. Only there is mentioned that Supreme Lord is everything, but in the hidden way, in that 4 verses, all 18 verses are included in that 4 verses. What Srila Vyasadeva has been narrated with all 18,000 verses, that has been hidden with the 4 verses only. Because we are so less intelligent, are also so dull-minded, we cannot extract from that 4 verses of Srimad Bhagavatam. We cannot understand. So that's why Srila Vyasadeva has made this elaborate description of Srimad Bhagavatam, different pastime and different with different topics. And he has given us, and also Srimad Bhagavatam, as we understood, Srimad Bhagavatam is such a wonderful subject literature, which has been given not only Supreme Lord's pastime, and it has been described also many wonderful devotees of Supreme Lord. Because our purpose of a human life is to practice devotional service. Because when we are practicing devotional service, then only we can understand the Supreme Lord. Without practicing devotional service, we cannot ever understand the Supreme Lord. Because only Supreme Lord can be understood through devotion, as Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Bhaktastu Annaya Sakya, Krishna saying that. Only my devotee can understand me, Krishna is saying in 10th chapter. So, so that's why when Narada Muni instructed Vyasadeva, and Vyasadeva elaborately the 18,000 verses, and with different pastimes of the Supreme Lord and with his devotees also. Because only because Supreme Lord is not alone actually. As Srila Prabhupada mentioned many times, when we speak about Supreme Lord, we think that, oh, Krishna is only alone, playing his flute only. No. When we say Krishna or we speak Krishna, Krishna does not mean that only the one person Krishna. And when he speak about the Supreme Lord, again, it does not mean that only one person is Supreme Lord. That includes Krishna. Krishna is a devotee and he is a abode, he is a spiritual abode, and all the antaraj, his antaraj, that belongs to the Supreme Lord when we speak. Because Krishna never become alone. So that is a beautiful beauty of a Krishna consciousness. So that's a here as we see the Vasudev when he was narrating Srimad Bhagavatam, because Vasudev himself he saw the beautiful pastime of Supreme Lord. After Narada Muni gave him instruction, when Narada Muni left and Vasudev was meditating on the Supreme Lord. He is himself Supreme Lord. So, but Vasudev was giving example. He's setting example how we should practice our devotional service. When we meditate upon the Supreme Lord, and Srila Prabhupada mentioning here in his purport, Vasudev was not meditating on the Brahma or Paramatma feature of Supreme Lord. He was meditating on the Supreme Lord himself, Bhagavan. Because before when Vasudev was writing different Puranas and four Vedas, so he was not, and that has not been narrated the directly pastime of the Supreme Lord. No? So, so that's why this time when Narada Muni chastised him, Narada Muni told that people they like to follow so many ritualistic activities in their life because they want to get Swarga Loka, this Loka, that Loka. So you in your narration you have mentioned this thing already. So that's why they become interested. So this is not the purpose of mankind. The purpose of human life is going to spiritual world, going to back to Godhead. How can they go to back to Godhead if they don't understand who is the Supreme Lord? So that's why you must narrate a beautiful pastime of Supreme Lord. That's why when Narada Muni left the ashram of Vasudev, so Narada Vasudev was meditating upon the Supreme Lord. So Srila Prabhupada wrote in his purport, he was not meditating upon the Brahman or Paramatma feature. So that's why when Vasudev was meditating and Supreme Lord manifested his different pastime in his vision. Because you see, transcendental vision, we cannot speculate sometimes in our small brain. No? We cannot speculate ourselves. So Vasudev, he got the transcendental vision. He saw the Supreme Lord himself, and same time also he saw his energy, Maya illusion, also illusory energy, as a shadow. And Srila Prabhupada explains shadow only comes when the person, a physical person is there, then there is a shadow. When there is no physical person, there is no shadow. So, so when the Supreme Person is standing there, so Vasudev saw the shadow behind of the Supreme Lord. So that means, Srila Prabhupada said that to understand the shadow or the illusory energy is not that much necessary if you understand the Supreme Lord. If you understand the Supreme Lord properly, then shadow will automatically you can understand the shadow. Because the shadow has not permanent actually existence. Only shadow comes with temporarily. Yeah. So that's why the permanent feature is the Supreme Lord. That's why our goal of our life, human life, is to meditate upon Supreme Lord, can fix ourselves and engage our devotional services with Supreme Lord himself. And automatically, by the grace of Supreme Lord, the shadow will eradicate. So that's why Krishna says that in Bhagavad Gita, Mama Maya Duratvaya. Because this Maya or illusory energy is an energy of Supreme Lord. It is Krishna's energy. So it is very difficult to overcome. So, but Krishna is giving also in the second line, Mamavejo Prapadanti, Mayamete Taravati. So when somebody surrenders to the Supreme Lord, then automatically he can overcome the illusory energy. So that's why here, as we see, Srila Prabhupada explains in his purport, when Srila Vasudev saw the Supreme Lord, same time also he saw the illusory energy of the Supreme Lord. And also he understood this illusory energy of Supreme Lord only comes when we forget the Krishna. When we are in Krishna, that's the Prabhupada saying that always chant Krishna, never forget Krishna. Because when the bad time comes, when we forget about Krishna, then illusory energy of Krishna overcomes us. He overpowers. So that's why we have to be very, very careful in our practicing of devotional service. So how can we engage ourselves 24 hours, 24/7, like in service of Krishna? So that's why here Srila Prabhupada is saying that when we are engaged ourselves in 100% in Krishna consciousness activities, by reading Krishna consciousness scripture or hearing Krishna, there are 9 processes of devotional service. In either way, we engage ourselves whole day. So many times devotees get confused. Some are household devotees, some are different obligations in the social society. This thing, how can they do 100% for their time or 24 hours of their time for Krishna consciousness? But Prabhupada said that whatever their social obligation, whatever their duty or whatever their activities they are doing, whether they are doing job, whether they are doing farming, whatever they are doing, to convert it into Krishna consciousness. And the purpose of doing that activities is our goal should be achieved to Krishna consciousness. So when our goal is in Krishna, to pleasing the Krishna, then whatever activities we are doing, that maybe looks like material activities, but that will be spiritualized, Hare Krishna consciousness activities. So that is the beauty of Krishna consciousness devotional service. So we are acting like a outside person or a karmic person, karmic person, but our activity is only to pleasing Krishna. But same time, the other person who is not a devotee, his activity is only for getting his sense enjoyment or gratifying his own senses. So that is the difference between. So that's why our activities are taking care of even of family members, taking care of the household needs, whatever activities. When that can be Krishnanized in, or that can be engaged in the object of those activities are become for Krishna, to pleasing Krishna, then that activities can be as called as Krishna consciousness activity. So that's it. That's why Mr. Prabhupada has arranged so many things, services for us. Actually, before Srila Prabhupada comes also Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's time also, you see, devotees they did not have that many service. They were not called calling that, because at that time there was not many book distribution to do book distribution. Till now also many people they confuse how the book distribution is a part of devotional service. Many devotees, many people sometimes ask in a 9 process of devotional service, Shravana Kirtana Vishnu Smarana. So is there a book distribution is mentioned there? Is part of devotional service? I say yes. Because Shravana Kirtana Vishnu Smarana means where it is coming from? It is coming from on books. And you are becoming an instrument keeping this Smarana, Shravana Kirtana Smarana Bandhan to a person. So that's why this is also part of a devotional service. So Prabhupada made so many actually arrangements to engage ourselves in devotional service. Before it was not that much service facilities for the devotee to practice devotional service. But Srila Prabhupada wonderfully he made us or he engages in so many varieties of activities. Even like in many temples they are arranging Rath Yatra, many festivals, food for life program, this program. So many activities Srila Prabhupada introduced in Krishna consciousness. In Krishna consciousness. Because Prabhupada knew that our mind, because like here as we see, when Vyasdeva was meditating and Narada Muni could understand as a spiritual master, he could understand what is going on in Vyasdeva's mind. So that's why Srila Prabhupada, he understood our mind. And particularly where we are living in this age of 21st century, we are living. And we are always, our mind has been fickle and our mind is not steady. This thing, Manda Sumanda Mataya, Manda Bhagya Upadata, and forgetfulness, everything bad. So, so Prabhupada understood that when we engage ourselves in any service, so then our mind will not disturb. Otherwise, what happen? So, suppose we chant 16 rounds, so that takes only 2 hours. You know? Or somebody doing duty or civic 3 hour, 4 hour, 5 hour service, this thing, that thing. Then other time, what he will do? No? That's a Prabhupada arranges so many, you can read, you can chant, you can engage in it, any service of your activities, and you can do kirtan, you can go for book distribution, you can go for any service activity. So like that. So we don't know when the night comes, I will take rest, and we feeling that tomorrow again we have to get up in Mangala Aarti. So that's why our mind is engaged in that way 24 hours. Otherwise, our mind will go in different place. It will go and wander all over the world. So that's why Srila Prabhupada introduced this thing. So that's why as I understood from this chapter particularly, and particularly this verse when I was reading, as Srila as Narada Muni understood Srila Vyasdeva's mind, and he instructed him to narrate the beautiful pastime of the Supreme Lord, personality of Godhead Krishna, not in Paramatma way or Brahman witness or some meditation way. In such a way, we narrate, people can understand it properly, and they practice the devotional service themselves. Because Narada Muni told actually, Vyasdeva instructed, when you are narrating the Supreme Lord's pastime, even that is not properly written or that is some broken language also, that will benefit than a properly Sanskrit narrated verse which has no meaning about Krishna. So that is better. So that's why Narada Muni understood. Because our constitutional position is Jivara Swarupa Hai Krishna Nityadas. So we are part and parcel of Supreme Lord, and we are a servant of Krishna. So that's why when we are engaged in service of Krishna, then our life will be success. So unless until we engage ourselves, then how can our life will success? So that's why by following the Narada Muni's instruction, Vyasdeva narrated this Srimad Bhagavatam. He elaborately discussed Srimad Bhagavatam in different canto in 18,000 verses. And same thing, when Srila Prabhupada introduced Srimad Bhagavatam to us, and he wrote a very beautiful purport in each and every commentary, each and every verses of Vyasdeva. Because by reading Vyasdeva's verse, we cannot understand anything from that thing. Only actually Srimad Bhagavatam we can understood by the grace of Srila Prabhupada. Due to his wonderful purport, only we can able to understand Srimad Bhagavatam. Otherwise, we cannot understand. So that's why that is necessary for us. It become essential. So that's why Prabhupada become more merciful than Vyasdeva. Because Vyasdeva become more merciful than Narada Muni, and Narada Muni was more merciful than Brahma and the Supreme Lord, as you see. So that's why this is the duty of a disciplic succession. Because disciplic successions, their duty, and duty is only to please the Supreme Lord by propagating his glory to the general people like us. So that's why here, as Vyasdeva is narrating, and Srila Sukadeva Goswami, because Srila Sukadeva Goswami, he heard and he has been taught Srimad Bhagavatam by his father Vyasdeva. Because before, why Sukadeva Goswami here mentioning actually, as you heard from beginning, because Sukadeva Goswami in the beginning, he was Brahmavadi. He was not a devotee of Supreme Lord. No? By hearing the beautiful narration of Srimad Bhagavatam, he became devotee. So that's why there is such a power of Srimad, the verses in Bhagavatam. So that's why here Sukadeva Goswami is saying that the pastimes and different activities of Supreme Lord is so sweet. No? Even a person like Brahmavadi like him, he become attracted towards the Supreme Lord and his pastime. So that's why here, as you see, Narada Muni instructed Vyasdeva, so who is Supreme Lord himself, to to narrate a different pastime of Supreme Lord and his devotee and how to perform devotional service. So throughout the Srimad Bhagavatam, as we see different pastime in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Dhruva Maharaj pastime and Bali Maharaj pastime, Prahlad Maharaj pastime, so many pastime. Why he has been narrated? Because as we understood from Srimad Bhagavatam, but unless until we have, sorry, I think our power has been gone. I stop my video, right? So, Srila Vyasadeva, that's why he narrated a different pastime of Supreme Lord with his devotees. Because when there is a pastime and a reciprocation with devotee with the Supreme Lord, then the pastime becomes so easy and so and so melodious and relisable. So it will become very wonderful for the devotee to release. Because the nectarian pastime is Supreme Lord is nectar himself, and the devotee is those who are reciprocating the Supreme Lord with a different pastime, and that actually helps us. And for a devotee, those who are practicing devotional service, sometimes they get, oh, devotional practicing is very difficult, sometimes this thing, that thing. But when we study different pastime of the Supreme Lord with his devotees, how the Pandavas, they were practicing devotional service, even they went through so many turmoils in their life, how they are fixed on this thing. And Prahlad Maharaj, how he was tortured by his own father himself, how he has got this thing. So when we are reading this pastime with the Supreme Lord and also reciprocation of Supreme Lord, then that becomes very hope and hope, no? As a devotee, you think, yes, I can do also this. If a Pandava they can do also, I can do also. They can do 100%. I can do at least 1%. No, try myself. So that will give us a bigger, greater hope actually in our practicing devotion. Otherwise, you think, oh, devotional service is so far. No? How can we do this, practice this thing? So that's why here, as my understanding, I am trying to just summarizing this thing. So my understanding from reading this, what Srila Vyasadeva has been narrated in Srimad Bhagavatam, that is only for us and for our benefit. That's why he mentioned how we can engage ourselves in devotional service of Supreme Lord and the end of life. So we go back to spiritual world and engage ourselves in service of Krishna. Thank you very much. I think we can go for some discussion.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much, Maharaj, for such beautiful Krishna Katha. We really, thank God the light came back. Yes. Dear devotees, if anyone may have questions, comments, realizations, you may do so by indicating using the hand emoji or your physical hand, and you'll be asked to unmute. Maharaj, is very interesting. I tried to listen attentively to what you were sharing with us, and what I gathered from what you shared with us is the special fortune that most of us have being devotees, coming from this line of disciplic succession, which has a direct connection all the way from the Supreme Lord himself through Lord Brahma to Narada, Vyasa, Shuka, all the way to our present day acharyas. But one question I have, Maharaj, is that Lord Krishna originally spoke only 4 verses, and he asked Lord Brahma to expand it. We are also told that we are not to concoct or create anything other than what the Lord is saying. So, how did Lord Brahma understand more than what the Supreme Lord had told him? And how did Narada Muni also understand his father Brahma of what he had told him when Lord Brahma told Narada to expand it? And Narada also told Vyasadeva to expand it. So it's like any disciple who comes is asked to expand, expand, expand. So if they are expanding, which is much more than their Acharya, their Guru did, could there be any sort of, no, let me ask this way. How do the Acharya bring about the expansion if it is not coming from his own self-realization from what he had been taught?
Okay, thank you so much. As we learn from Srila Prabhupada's one example. So Prabhupada only he got instruction from his spiritual master. So you propagate the Lord Chaitanya's teaching in the Western world. And Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur did not tell Srila Prabhupada that you go a particular place to propagate this Krishna consciousness. But he told that you go to the English speaking people, expand this knowledge. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So then how Prabhupada took it, and he took it to the whole world. So that's here, as we see from Vyasdev's one pastime also, we see. So when Narada Muni gave him example instruction, you expand this knowledge, and what Vyasdeva did. So he was just sitting down there, okay, when something revealed to me, Narada Muni gave me example, so I do this. No, he started meditating on Supreme Lord. And the Supreme Lord, he is being Paramatma in everybody's heart, then he reveals everything. So that's why Narada Muni, Vyasdeva could see the Supreme Lord himself and his pastime and Maya, everything. So like that, so how we get instruction like that from our previous acharyas in those who are coming this week succession. So when they give us this type of instruction, so then we meditate upon that instruction and also Supreme Lord to please give me proper instruction and guidance how I can expand myself. I am a very small insignificant in living entity. So how can I expand myself? If we have that mood, and Krishna will will reveal in like what Srila Prabhupada did. Also, you can see living example of Srila Prabhupada. And also after Srila Prabhupada departed, also Prabhupada instructed his disciples, you go and expand this Krishna consciousness movement. And they were just 4 months, 5 months, 1 year devotee. They went and they opened the center in different places. How could they do that? No? When we think it actually deeply, that because we have first thing that we have to focus to the Bani or instruction of a spiritual master or those who are coming in a display of success or parampara. So when we are focused to do that, and when we determined also determination, no, I must follow do this thing. Then when you see Krishna, our determination, same time it's spiritual matter and Krishna, they reveal and they give you also intelligence how to expand. I think that will be proper way to have to do expansion. Then we will not be in ego or diverted ourselves. We will be properly guided.
Yeah. Well, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you so much, Maharaj. Anyone else with something to share or ask? Maharaj, you said so many things. There are two statements you made, and I would like to join both together to ask my question. One was that you said that the acharyas, they come and then they live a life so that it will be exemplary for the conditioned souls to follow. And then two, you also talked about trying to stay strictly to Srila Prabhupada's writings, because there are so many versions of and so many scriptures out there, but Srila Prabhupada specifically and selected certain scriptures for us to study and be able to go back home. So my question is from these two angles. One is the Bhagavad Gita, as it is, as I understand, is taken out of the Mahabharata. Now, there is the understanding that there are so many versions of the Mahabharata, one does not even know which is right, which is not right.
Yeah.
And the story or the pastime of Maharaj Parikshit, by whose mercy and grace we are here today enjoying the Srimad Bhagavatam. We read from the Bhagavatam when he was cursed by the Brahmin boy Shringi to die in 7 days from a snake bite. He only asked his ministers what is the best thing for a dying man to do, and they told him to hear about the pastimes of the Lord. So Shukadev spoke the Bhagavatam. It says 7 days, 7 nights to Maharaj Parikshit. Meanwhile, in the same Mahabharata, it is said that Maharaj Parikshit attempted to defend himself from the snake bite. And after a while, he understood that it is the Lord's plan. So he said, okay, I'm ready to go, which to me is very exemplary in the sense that if somebody is doing something against me to die, it is normal that I'll try to do something to prevent it. If I try to prevent it and it's not going to work, then I surrender to Krishna. So my question to you, Maharaj, respectfully and humbly, is it a fact, as we read from the Mahabharata, specifically the Adi Parva, I think Astika 42, this is where we find this pastime, where Maharaj Parikshit attempted to protect himself against the snake bite, that is not mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So is it true that Maharaj Parikshit attempted to do that?
No, actually, Mahabharata, actually nowadays there have been so many misinterpretation. Actually, the original Mahabharata is actually spoken, written by Jaimini, actually. So that Mahabharata is not available nowadays. But actually, that is the authentic Mahabharata. So, so there are so many interpreters and of Mahabharata. So that's why better. That's why Prabhupada did not actually comment on Mahabharata, because sometimes he confused. So that's why Srila Prabhupada he focused on Srimad Bhagavatam, what Sukadeva Goswami has narrated. So, so that's my understanding from those Srila Prabhupada's vision. So that was not actually mentioned in Mahabharata. As one Mahabharata we are reading also here, in that Adi Parva this is not mentioned, as you are telling this. Parikshit Maharaj, because he was not attempting himself to or protect himself to avoid from snake bite. Because otherwise, if a devotee try to protect himself, so then he will not be an example devotee. And devotee Of course, we see many times in many other pastimes like Draupadi, she wanted to protect herself in the beginning. Then Krishna came and finally when she completely surrendered. But Parikshit Maharaj was completely surrendered to Supreme Lord from the beginning of his life when he took birth. Before taking birth from the mother of his womb of his mother. So he knows the Supreme Lord is the protector of everything. So that's why when he got the news or he heard the news of he will die and within 7 days with the snake bite, so he became very happy. He was not at all any arrangement. He did not make any arrangement. Even forget about his arrangement of protecting him from snake bite. He did not hand over his kingdom to his own son. No? He just left his kingdom. So Janmeja as a become king by the ministers. He was because when the king left reality, then Parikshit Maharaj even did not care for that because he understood that now the time is completely different. You know, I have to uh, completely surrender to Supreme Lord. So that's why in Mahabharata, so we don't read much actually in the Mahabharata because Srila Prabhupada did not, for my understanding, but many devotees they try to read. At least I prefer because so many books Srila Prabhupada has been translated. So I have no time to reading those things. So I confuse myself so better I study what Srila Prabhupada gave us. Prabhupada gave us in Bhashimad Bhagavatam, so there is no such thing. So I think that makes sense.
Yes, definitely. It does make sense a lot. Thank you so much, Maharaj. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Because when I read that, and I had read this quite a long time ago, and I was wondering why that is not found in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So it makes a lot of sense how you said that Srila Prabhupada carefully designed this ISKCON in such a way that we do not deviate from the disciplic succession in any shape or form. So thank you for the explanation. Dear devotees, if anyone has something to ask, please, you may do so by using the hand emoji or your physical hand on mute, and you go ahead and speak. Maharaj, are you speaking from India? I believe.
Yeah.
Okay, so it must be quite late for you.
It's okay. Still you can go 10-20 minutes.
Okay, thank you, Maharaj. So devotees, if anyone may have something to ask.
Okay.
Well, it seems everybody is much satisfied with your presentation, Maharaj.
I don't know.
No, I think that is what it is. Oh, okay. Arichakra Prabhu, you have something to say? Please, you may unmute.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, we can hear you.
Okay. Maharaj, Dandava Pranam. Thank you.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you for the elaborate explanation that you have given.
Thank you.
And I'm so pleased. About the description you said about the expansion that in the initial stages, Krishna Ji only gave 4 verses to Lord Brahma, and Lord Brahma expanded it and to Narada, and Narada expanded it to Vyasa like that. The little clarification I want is, does that mean, is that the reason why they say anytime the Acharya comes, the Acharya look at the environment and he preaches according to the time, the place, and the circumstances? That the Acharya looks at it, and then based on the circumstance and the time involved, the Acharya will look what is more appropriate, the way to expand the knowledge of Krishna. Is that the reason why the acharyas do that?
Yeah, because the Acharya and when they come in disciplic success, because Krishna says also in Bhagavad Gita, no? Wherever there is a religious this thing, that's he descendant. So that does not mean that only Krishna has to come and descendant. Sometimes he also sends some empowered acharyas to establish the religious principle. So, like Prabhu see, you see many years after Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and six Goswami, there is no propagate of Krishna consciousness. And Krishna empowered us, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, then Bhakti Siddhanta, then Srila Prabhupada went to complete the whole world. So that's why he has been empowered. So this is also called establishing the religious principle. And so Krishna comes in that form. And so that's why the empower acharyas, they can only do this thing according to time, place, circumstance, because also they know understood. Like we see when Narada Muni instructed Vyasadeva, and Narada Muni already told him in that because people in this world, they are symptoms of people that he already told. He gave some gist only, Narada Muni. Then Vyasadeva expanded because he understood the people's mind, mentality, everything. So like that also, as you said that when the acharyas come, those who are empowered acharya, they come according to time, place, circumstances. They reveal the different scripture of the Supreme Lord to the general people according to their understanding.
Well, thank you.
Okay, Harichakra Prabhu?
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Yeah. I guess somebody a call came in, so it temporarily cut off my my audio. But
okay,
yeah, I understand.
Thank you very much for your association and a wonderful devotee in Africa.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
I go South Africa side, no?
Oh, you went to South Africa. Okay. Most devotees here are from the west and sometimes east. Sometimes we have devotees from South Africa also.
Yeah, East Africa, I went 2 times, I think. 2 times. Umapati Prabhu there and Mombasa.
Okay. So Maharaj, are you based in Eugene? That's no. What okay.
Now this place is 7-hour driving from Ujjain.
Still a distance.
Quite distance. This is near Bhopal in Madhya Pradesh. It's the middle of India actually.
Okay.
If you see India map, it is middle this portion actually. In the bank of Narmada, I'm developing a small farm project here.
Oh. I think Narmada is one of the holy rivers we chant.
Yeah, one of the holy river.
Yes. Yeah.
So here on the bank, just Narmada is just flowing in our property.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Maharaj, and we hope to have your Darshan Association once again in the very near future. And Maharaj, if we throw our hands, begging you to be with us, to bless us, please, we'll humbly request you to do that. Because hearing from you and seeing you is a very great blessing and boon to all of us here. And our humble request is that you pray for us so that we never, ever deviate from the lotus feet of Jagat Guru Param Guru Srila Prabhupada. That's our humble request. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much for your wonderful association and giving me this time, sharing some of my thoughts. Hopefully it will help you in your journey of Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Maharaj, before you go,
okay.
if I will be allowed to ask one question.
Okay.
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 Maharaj, please accept my respectful obeisances. All glory to Srila
Okay,
Prabhupada.
Prabhupada.
All glory to you, and all glory to your love for the devotees. Maharaj, my question is about Krishna pastimes.
Okay.
So Krishna pastimes, it is said that when one hears the pastimes of the Lord, he becomes purified.
Hmm.
And it's so nectarious that when one hears the pastimes, he never like to stop hearing.
Hmm.
And Rishit Maharaj is a perfect example of that. When you hear the pastime of Lord Krishna lifted Govardhan Hill, he lifted Govardhan Hill. So when one hears this, that somebody has lifted a hill,
Hmm.
what brings the transcendental bliss? If, for instance, like ordinary person has lifted a hill, like there are so many personalities that have performed different feats of that nature. In Africa, there's one priest called Okonfo Anochi.
Okay.
This Okonfo Anochi conjoined a golden stool from the heavens. This Okonfo Anochi planted a tree and harvested the fruits one day. He did so many wonderful things, and there are many personalities also have done so many things like that.
Hmm.
So when we hear all those things, even though it's hundreds and and thousands of years ago, people are still enjoying those feats. So what makes the difference? It's the same, like Chaitanya Prabhu planted a mango tree, and it grew and was harvested, and somebody also did the same thing. So what makes Krishna's pastimes so special, so purifying from the same thing that others also do? What makes the difference?
Yeah. Difference actually we see, like there are so many people also, as we see also many rishis and many saintly person also. They are also lifting like many mountain. This thing is not a so big thing for them. Like the Govardhan pastime also, as you remember, this is how this Govardhan Giriraj came to Vrindavan. The Pulastha Rishi brought him, he was also lifting Govardhan. He brought all the way from South India to here, the Govardhan. So like that, there is so many similarly pastime we see. But the difference between Krishna's pastime, Krishna is saying that my pastime and activities, they are been transcendental. So, so they are not actually by practicing any mystic power, yoga, perfection, this thing, that thing. Krishna does not undergo those, go through this thing. So, like other people are so many saintly person, they went through so many practice of other things, and also they have limited it to only certain activities. But they cannot do like a transcendental activity like Supreme Lord who created the soul cosmic manifestation. No, they cannot do that thing. So that's why to bring the attraction of the Krishna and appreciate more Krishna consciousness pastime. So that's why when you read, particularly in the second chapter, when Sukadeva Goswami is narrating the cosmic manifestation, and third canto also again we see here about different manifestations of cosmic in this world, then we appreciate. If Krishna can make millions and millions of them in this planetary system, so this lifting of Govardhana Hill is not so big thing. It is just like a mushroom was lifted by a small child. No? So that's why that will release those pastime. And lifting up the hill or mountain or doing somebody may do some magic. So that does not last that much or that long. So that is a different difference between Krishna's pastime and the general people and those who has some empower do something activity. And as we see, Krishna's pastime is a transcendental, complete transcendental, and you would like to hear more and more Krishna's pastime. But this some mystic things we may like for some time, but after many years or years, the people will forget. But Krishna's pastime is 5,000 years ago. Now also people are releasing. So that is difference. Krishna's pastime and other activities. Okay.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you very much. I was wondering. I asked the question because I was wondering whether the soul, the Atma, is eternally connected to Krishna, and so he's familiar to the activities of the Lord, and that this conditional state that we are pretending to have been forgotten about our Lord and his activities. And so when we hear such pastimes again, or when the soul again is reminded about these pastimes of the Lord, then the soul become more activated, become more active, and it's like he's been awakened from his slumber. And that makes us so joyful because we already know. And that the mundane activities are all pertaining to the body. And so we are not much interested. Is that am I thinking right?
Yeah, it can be understood in that way because we have eternally relationship with Krishna, so that Krishna's activities are eternal. So that's why we are automatically connected to those things and attracted to those pastimes. So it can take in that way understanding.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you very much.
Okay, then.
Hare,
Thank
Hare
you so
Krishna.
much. Thank you so
Hare
much
Krishna.
for your
Hare Krishna.
again.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. So, dear devotees, we're going to humbly request you all to kindly unmute, and we all chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra to express our appreciation to our revered speaker, His Holiness Bhaktijivan Rajananda Swami Maharaj. Jai, please.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna.
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare Hare,
Hare Rama.
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama.
Hare
Rama
Rama, Rama
Rama.
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare. Yavanchakapatara Vista Kripa Shunavi Vacha Titanam Pavanabhyo Vaishnavavyo Namo Namaha.
All glories and honor to His Holiness Bhaktijivan Rajananda Swami Maharaj Ki Jai.
Jai.
All glories to Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Jai.
All assembled Vaishnavi devotees Ki Jai.
Jai.
Thank you so much, bro.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
So, dear devotees, hold on.